The cargo hauler Meridian's Hope shuddered as plasma fire tore through its shields. Captain Heil gripped the control console, her knuckles white against the flickering emergency lights. 16 years old, barely qualified to pilot a shuttle, and now she commanded a dying ship with 43 souls aboard. "They're boarding!" her co-pilot screamed. Hale's jaw tightened. The Krexval pirates were infamous across 7 systems. Ruthless, merciless, and particularly fond of selling human captives to the mining cartels. She'd heard the stories. Everyone had. The airlock exploded inward with a metallic shriek. Smoke filled the corridor as massive figures emerged, 8 feet tall, scaled, with forearms ending in razor-sharp talons. Their leader, Captain Vexnar, stepped forward, his reputation preceding him like a shadow. 300 confirmed kills, 17 ship captures, 0 survivors left behind by choice. Humans, Vexnar's translator crackled with amusement. "How delightful. Your cargo manifest shows medical supplies. We'll take them, and you." Heil stood from her station, hands raised. But her eyes tracked movement behind the pirates, a maintenance hatch barely visible in the smoke. Her younger brother Kivan was supposed to be in the engine room. 15 years old, scrawny, afraid of his own shadow. "Take what you want," Heil said, keeping Vexnar's attention. "Just let the civilians go." The pirate captain laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Humans always negotiate, as if you have leverage." That's when Kivan struck. He emerged from the shadows like a ghost, carrying a plasma torch modified into something else entirely. Before the pirates could react, he jammed it into the nearest raider's spine. The Krexval shrieked as electricity arced through its nervous system. "Kivan, no!" Hale screamed, but her brother wasn't listening. He moved with a ferocity she'd never seen in him, rolling under a swinging claw, using the confined corridor to his advantage. He was smaller, faster, and absolutely fearless. When a second pirate lunged, Kivan triggered the maintenance hatch, sending the creature tumbling into the exposed wiring below. Sparks flew. The smell of burning flesh filled the air. Vexnar roared, shoving his subordinates aside. This human child had killed 2 of his crew in seconds. Impossible. Humans were weak, soft things, good for labor, nothing more. Kivan stood his ground, chest heaving, holding a jagged piece of metal hull plating like a sword. Blood dripped from a gash on his forehead, but his eyes blazed with something primal, something the galaxy had forgotten about humanity. "You want my sister?" Kivan's voice cracked, still a boy's voice. "You'll have to go through me." Vexnar studied the human child. In 3 centuries of piracy across countless worlds, he'd seen warriors of every species. Krexval berserkers, Thanix assassins, Vorketh shock troops, but this small wounded human defending his family with improvised weapons and pure rage? The pirate captain raised a hand, stopping his crew from advancing. A smile crossed his scarred face, not cruel but genuinely impressed. "What's your name, human child?" "Kivan." The boy didn't lower his makeshift weapon. "Kivan," Vexnar tasted the word. "Tell me, why do you fight? You know you cannot win." "Because she's my sister." Kivan's answer was immediate, unwavering. "Because if I don't stand, who will? Because you're a bully who thinks strength is just about size and guns and fear." He spat blood. "You're wrong." The corridor fell silent except for the ship's dying groans. Hale watched in disbelief as Vexnar's expression shifted. The other pirates looked to their captain, confused. 300 years, Vexnar said quietly. "I've raided ships, taken cargo, killed those who resisted. Do you know what I've learned, Kivan?" He stepped closer and the boy tensed. "That most species fold. They calculate odds. They surrender to preserve themselves." "Not humans," Kivan growled. "No." Vexnar's laugh was different now, not mocking, but amazed. "Not humans. Your species is insane. Mathematically, you should have hidden. Statistically, you should have died terrified. But instead," he gestured at his fallen crew members, "instead you attack." The pirate captain holstered his weapon. His crew gasped. "I've killed enough humans to know your kind doesn't stop. You don't calculate. You don't give up. You fight with broken bones. You resist with your last breath. And that," Vexnar extended a clawed hand, "that is worthy of respect." Kivan stared at the offered hand, suspicious. "I'm sparing your ship," Vexnar announced. "My crew will hate me for it. The other pirate clans will mock me. But 3 centuries have taught me to recognize something rare when I see it." He looked at Hayal, then back to Kivan. "Humanity's ferocity isn't about size or weapons. It's about love. About standing for something beyond yourselves. He turned to leave, pausing at the breach. Kivan, your sister's fortunate to have you. Grow strong. The galaxy needs more warriors like you, ones who fight not for conquest but for family. As the pirates withdrew to their ship, Hyal rushed to her brother. Kivan collapsed into her arms, the adrenaline finally fading, replaced by shaking sobs. He was just a boy again. A terrified, brave, impossible boy. You're an idiot, Hyal whispered, holding him tight. Yeah, Kivan managed through tears. But I'm your idiot. The Meridian's Hope limped into port 3 days later, carrying a story that would spread across the colonies. Not about how humans were saved, but about how a 15-year-old boy reminded the galaxy's most dangerous pirate why humanity, despite being small and soft and new to the stars, was never to be underestimated. Because humans don't fight like they're trying to win. They fight like they've already decided losing isn't an option.